We start today lying on the back, hugging the knees into the chest, beginning to feel our breath, noticing our body, taking deep inhalations and even exhalations. On your next inhale, take the knees over the hips and exhale, draw them into the chest. Inhale to send them out and exhale, bring them in. Moving with the breath, just slowly opening up through the hips. One more round, maybe taking a few hip circles here, before gently releasing the arms to the side and letting the knees fall to the left. Finding a gentle twist, only staying here for one breath, before gently taking the knees up and over to the right. Breathing. Releasing back onto the back and rocking yourself up to find easy seat. Rooting down through the sit bones, taking a moment here to connect with your breath. Noticing how it feels in the body, its natural rhythm. On your next inhale, raise the arms above the head, big breath. And exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus, drawing the shoulder blades together. Moving with the breath, opening up through the chest and the upper back. Beautiful. One more time. And on this next exhale, releasing the hands behind the lower back, interlacing the fingers. Inhale, draw the chest up, lifting the heart center to the sky, finding space between the collarbones. Using your breath. And on your next exhale, release the hands, taking them to the knees. Finding more hip circles, opening up through the lower back. Maybe we feel it crack as we open and find length. Making sure to reverse our circles and balance ourselves out. Maybe finding a little bit of play here, adding some fun into our practice. And whenever you're ready, we meet in neutral spine, preparing for seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, round through the back. Letting the hands glide over the legs as we see fit. Moving at your own pace, matching breath to movement. One more round before we meet back in neutral spine. And on your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, taking a twist to the right side. Gentle breathing, no forceful movements. Exhale through center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, twist to the left. Waking up the spine, finding length, reaching up through the crown of the head. Exhale through center, gently coming onto the knees, finding tabletop pose. Preparing for 2 rounds of cat-cow. Exhale to round through the back. Inhale, drop the belly. Meeting in tabletop, extending the right arm and the left leg. Inhale and exhale, crunch knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. One more. Nice and strong. Release to the mat to take 2 more rounds of cat-cow, resetting the spine before taking the other side. Inhale, opposite arm and leg. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, exhale. Last round. Beautiful. Planting everything, tabletop pose. Tuck the toes, connect to the core, lift the knees about 2 inches off the mat. Hover here for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend the legs coming into plank pose. Drawing the navel into the spine. Exhale, slowly lower down to the belly. Taking the hands behind by the sides. Inhale and exhale, squeeze everything coming into locust pose. We have an option here to bind the fingertips, reaching back, coming into a locust snake hybrid, opening up even further through the fronts of the shoulders. One more breath, hold here. Then exhale to release, planting the hands underneath the shoulders. Connect to the core to press up through plank and meet in downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, wake up the backs of the legs as we ground down through the palms of the hands, reaching the crown of the head towards the fingertips. Find length, and then exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands reach above the head. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, reach high, and exhale, flat back, dive down. Halfway lift, and step back to plank pose. Take a nice, strong, powerful vinyasa. Inhale, reach the chest forward. And exhale, crawl over the toes to meet in downward facing dog. Ground down through the left foot, sending the right leg high, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee and stack the hips, opening to the side of the room, flexing the foot, pressing the energy out through the heel. Hold here, use your breath. And then exhale back to 3-legged dog, bending the knee, bringing it in through the chest, hold nice and high, before planting the foot and releasing into low lunge. Untuck the toes and sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, sink the hips down into the mat. Opening up through the hip flexor, finding length in the legs. If we feel good here, we can inch the foot closer to the front of the mat, finding a deeper sensation in the front of the left hip flexor. Interlace the hands behind the lower back and lift the chest as we take a slight back bend. Exhale to release any tension and open up a little bit more. Releasing the fingertips, plant the left hand and reach the right back for the ankle. Coming onto the outer edge of the right foot, we send the hips down into the mat as we pull the left foot into the hips. Opening through the front of the left leg, preparing for our future back bend practice. Sinking a little bit deeper on this next exhale. And then returning to the front of the mat, reaching the right arm up as we lift the back knee. sending energy out through the heel, lengthening in the front of the leg. One more breath, and exhale to step back into downward facing dog, preparing to repeat on the other side. Lifting the left leg, exhale to bend the knee, stack the hips, and open. Maybe we gaze underneath the shoulder, or maybe we gaze at the hands. Squeezing through the glutes, very active in this pose. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, take the knee in through the chest, hold here. 2, 1. Plant the foot and inhale to our low lunge, releasing the hands above the head. Exhale, sink the hips. Open through the right hip flexor. Breathe deeply. On your next exhale, take the hands to the lower back, interlacing the fingers. Inhale, pull the chest up as we take a slight back bend. Going only as far as feels good. Just warming up the body and preparing ourselves for what's to come. On your next exhale, gently release, plant the right hand by the foot, reach the left up as we take the ankle into the hips. Coming on to the outer edge of the left foot, finding as much space as we can in the body. Using your breath to help you deepen, open, and elongate. Taking one big belly breath, see how much you can release on this next exhale. Then release the foot to the back of the mat, coming into our high lunge twist, sending energy out through the heel, very active in the whole body as we reach up and back. Exhale to plant the hand, lower the right knee, and step back, coming onto the knees. Sitting up nice and tall, plant the hands behind the toes, fingertips towards the feet. Exhale, send the hips up towards the sky. Ground down through the shins to really engage the quadriceps and find as much length as we can. One more breath. And then exhale to drop the hips back towards the heels. If hero pose is in your practice, we can take that now. Maybe coming onto the elbows or onto full reclined hero pose. If it's not, we can meet in wide child's pose, where we will all come next. Knowing that this practice is for you and what your body needs to warm up for backbends. Not judging yourself if this pose is not in your practice. If it is, we focus on the lengthening. Release wherever we can, knowing the lower back is not meant to be flush with the mat. Breathing deeply wherever we are. If we're in hero pose, connect to the core to gently and carefully lift yourself up. We meet in wide child's pose, sending the knees to the edges of the mat, reaching the fingertips forward. Finding a few gentle breaths here, letting yourself release and surrender. We can stay here if this feels good to you, or we can press up, taking the knees under the hips and melt into puppy pose, opening up through the chest and the upper shoulders. We have a few options in this pose. Maybe crossing the ankles, taking them in towards the hips to allow a deeper shoulder and chest open. We can steeple the fingertips here as well, breathing wherever we're at. Making the inhales and exhales as even as possible. And whenever you're ready, we can gently melt back into child pose. Taking our final resting position, surrendering down to the mat, letting go of any tension we may feel. And now that we're ready and opened up for any backbending fun, I thank you for joining me in this warm-up yoga class. Happy practicing.